should be allowed to transition.
I'm not gonna lie. I used to be a kid and I used to make fun of my sister. I used to put on her wig and then make fun of my sister. What does my mom tell me? Put that wig down, nigga. You're a guy. But Dwayne Wade's son put on a wig, started acting like a girl. Oh my god, son. Do you feel like a girl more than you're a man? He doesn't even know the difference yet. I know y'all miss these videos, chat. This is how the video is gonna work, okay? I feel like it's gonna be a YouTube video. We'll see. Every time there's a prompt said, I pause it, I say what I think about it, and then they talk, and then I'll put my input on it. All right?
Step forward if you agree with the prompt. Masculinity is disappearing in America.
Okay, masculinity is disappearing in America. Let me actually search up what it is. Okay, qualities are attributes regarded as a characteristics of a man. Okay, so masculinity is like manly stuff, manly shit. Okay, so we can get that clear, right? Like, I don't want people to like, you know, get a little confused. Okay, so is it disappearing? 100 billion% is disappearing. Why? Because somehow people are making that a bad thing. Like, there can be two couples and like the guy is masculine and the girl's feminine. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is starting to become like this weird thing now. Like, if I say I should work and provide for the family, that's like something masculine to do. You know what I'm saying? You're providing, you're protecting. That's like something masculine to do, like something a man would do, right? But it's like nowadays girls talk about like, I don't want no man to provide for me. I don't need no man. I don't need no man to protect me, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, bro, it's not a bad thing. Like, if everybody plays their role, like everything will be great. Like, a girl can nurture and care better than a man can. And a man can provide and protect better than any girl can. And it's like, bro, like, I don't know what's so surprising about that, what's so bad about that, but especially TikTok made that a horrible thing. I don't know how. I don't know, like, why this shit is horrible. But somehow, they made this shit a horrible thing.
I think that
What's goody
masculinity is disappearing. I think that it's a concerted effort to emasculate men. I think that some people feel threatened by masculinity and the typical way that men carry themselves, leading families and different things like that. So I think that there's a
100% I'm gonna
to
keep it going.
mitigate strong men in America.
There's a few different ways to think about masculinity, but just looking at kind of the definition of the term 50 years ago, you had people like John Wayne, you had Martin Luther King, you had Sean Connery. You think of like masculine features as in beards, hairy chest, big muscles, think stoic, being brave, being rugged, being a provider. Today you have people like Harry Styles and Timothy Chalamet. You have people that are completely contrary to what we were looking at back then, and those values of those masculine characteristics are completely devalued.
I do believe that masculinity is going downhill, especially if you look at like the testosterone levels. Now the testosterone levels for guys is going down compared to generations before us. So yeah, I agree. Hi, I'm Gilbert. I'm 24 years old and I'm a conservative man. With my beliefs and having a trans man as my friend, we don't really talk about politics. Someone being trans doesn't make me like them any less of a person. As far as pronouns, when referring to my friend, I don't
Testosterone is like what makes you like a man, like what makes your voice kind of like low, like what bids you mental and shit like that. Like trans motherfuckers like take testosterone, so like their voice gets lower, they sound more of a man, like, you know what I'm saying, they get all messy and shit.
really use the pronouns that my friend would want. I just say my friend or I say their name. Just because I feel like I'm giving into the narrative that men can be women and women can be men if I use the pronouns that they want.
Oh, that's a good point, yeah.
I do see that masculinity is under attack completely, but my definition of masculinity, like you said, has a lot to do with the traits that are associated with it. As a gay man, I mean, of all of us, I'm not the most masculine man, but I do think that the good aspects of masculinity are definitely under attack, but I don't think that it's disappearing, it's just being channeled in different ways.
It depends on how you look at it. because a lot of the traits can also be embodied in women and femininity. So when we look at masculinity, I think that we have to also look at what is the actual definition of femininity and masculinity, and if we're defining masculinity by being stoic or muscles or body parts, then is it really masculinity?
A lot of times when you guys spoke about
What? Like, it's like, bro, what? Alright.
you associate it with men being manly, but I think more women are embracing their masculinity. Masculinity is still there. I mean, just other genders are using it. Being courageous, being powerful, more women are standing in their power, which is again associated with masculine, but it's not specific to just men. Women are no longer submissive, they're dominant. Women don't need men, and I think that most of America is realizing that anyone can be powerful on their own.
I believe that
Okay, wait. Okay. Yeah, I get. Okay, so I understand a woman can provide for herself, right? I understand a woman can protect herself. No. Okay, let's talk about a family. Right? I understand the woman can provide for the family. I understand the woman can protect the family, right? But if the mother and the if the mother and the father got the same amount of education, they're the same age, they got the same amount of experience and everything, the man can is naturally better at providing and protecting because he's a man. He's more masculine than the woman, right? So when you really do think about it, okay, so when you think of like a family, you think of two people working together, the mother and the father, to make a family. And if I'm better than you at providing and protecting, why don't I do that? And if you're better than me at nurturing and caring, why don't you do that? It's like, why don't you think about it like that? Yes, the wife can protect and provide, but who could do it better? The husband. Because he's a man, he's naturally better at that. And it's like, bro, the moment they get that, bro, a lot of their question is gonna be answered, bro. Like, it's like they're delusional, bro.
the masculine traits are inherently in men, and men have to take a position. You made a really good point by saying women are now becoming more masculine. They feel as if they don't need men, which I think is the problem here. I think that the way we've been designed by God, in my opinion, is that men are to lead, men are to be strong, men are to be brave. Men have to take their rightful position. The way our country has been structured to this point have been because of strong men who have taken a stand, who have fought wars. Now I feel like it's getting so lopsided that our families are degrading. People don't know where they're at in this country.
Now in 2022, masculinity is being redefined. And I think what happens is people get upset when things start to change. No, I think that nobody ever wants to take that away from men. I think that what we want to do in the world now is start to understand what is masculinity. And it's always been really associated with this very machismo space. And now there's different kinds of men in the world. There's not just biological men. There's also trans men or people who want to be masculine. So I think what's happening now is people are pushing against change because change is scary and people don't understand. And so I think men, biological men, feel under attack, when I think that's not what's happening here.
The point that you made is 100% correct. There are different phases and people are experiencing in different ways. The feminist movement is, I think they are attacking masculinity within men. I don't want a man to open the door for me. I don't need a man in my life. I can do all of these different things. What they're doing is attacking men, and that's what's causing the problem.
What part of the
759, that is fact. 759 was goody. That is facts. Like, it's like, you do something nice for a woman, like, it's like, I don't need a man to do that, blah, blah, blah. Like, nobody said you need a man. Like, it's just you can use a man, though. Like,
feels like it's attacking? Because I know that most feminism is like wanting equal pay or...
Well, you just said that women not needing men is somehow empowering. You know, having a man is somehow less empowering, or being an individual is somehow less empowering.
But that's how women feel.
Right.
Women actually are saying that because that's how they feel. It's as
But
if,
that's not how every woman feels.
but no one's saying every woman. They're only women speak for themselves. So
Right.
all of you are going to have different opinions as biological men.
Absolutely.
Women all have different opinions. Oh, you see a very specific group of women saying this.
Let me you did just say that's how women feel. So are you speaking on behalf of all
No,
women?
no, I'm not. Let me take that back. So, the women who are saying that feel that way.
Why do you feel that women in general feel disempowered?
I don't think in general. No. That's a generalized statement. You can't say that. I said
you're the
women.
one,
No, I
you
did
said
not. I
women
said the
feel
women who
disempowered.
say that.
You associated somehow women are now embracing masculinity, which means that they are now more empowered because they don't need
They don't
a man.
need a man.
Or
Right.
if they're with-
Men feel empowered when women need
But
them.
I don't think that women's empowerment comes from having a man or not having a man. So why is it always associated that, you know, a woman's now empowered because she doesn't need a man? A woman has always been empowered. Women have never been.
But they've never felt
That's
that
not
though.
true.
I mean,
That's
if
not
we go
true.
back to the 1920s, if you're going to do that, but that's not
But
what
of
we're talking
course,
about.
you
We're
have-
talking about society right now.
Right now, you actually think women are empowered right now?
Absolutely, women are empowered.
Who's the vice president?
And how long did it take for her to become a vice president though?
What the fuck? Wait. Okay, look.
There,
I feel like women are empowered in their own way. There's different, okay, chat. Really do think about it, right? Like, it's so sad. Like, oh my god. Wait, like you would think, why would a woman want to be like a man? Okay? Look, there is a lot of pressure on man, right? He has to provide, protect, he has to like make the moves, like he has to do everything, right? That's what a man has to do in a normal relationship. Why would a woman want to take that role? It's so sad. A man can protect you, provide for you. So instead of feeling loved, you feel like you're not empowered? Nigga, what? It's so, like, you don't understand, bro. Like, it's so sad. Like, it's actually so sad, bro. Like, it's delusional.
Who's the vice president?
And how long did it take for her to become a vice president though?
there is a right and wrong way to be a man.
Wait, what do you mean by there's a right or wrong way to be a man? What the fuck? I mean, a trans man is a wrong way to be a man because he's not naturally a man. But when you really think about it, yeah, like, no matter what he does, he can never be a man. Okay, so let's say, like, no matter what a woman does, she can never be the best soccer player in the world. Just never. She would never be, because if a man worked just as hard as a trans man, the man would be better because he's not, like, he's naturally, like, he's, bro, like, he has advantages naturally. That's why there's sports for women and there's sports for men. Like, men already have an advantage physically. Like, it's just as simple as that.
I think that when I originally heard the question being asked, I didn't agree with it, but men are not abusive individuals. Men are not to be cowards. Men are to lead their families. And men who do not
okay. If you want to
display
look
that,
at it,
I
yeah.
don't believe that they are men, in my opinion. And all of the qualities that I see in my father is what I believe a man should be.
All of those characteristics are what make a man, and when I see a man be a coward in the truth, in just speaking the truth, or sticking up for what's right, especially today in America with everything going on, I'm like, those are not men. My name is Clarkson, I'm 24 years old, and I'm a conservative man. My biggest question for the other side really is, are you happy? Anybody that wants to fundamentally change society and change gender roles, to me that's not happiness. And if we want to fight for acceptance, we need to start with acceptance, which is accepting society for what it is.
I mean, he's a gay guy talking like that. Like, I would be like, oh my god, this nigga he's spitting facts, bro. I'm part of this nigga. Oh my god, this guy's is the favorite because, like, he's spitting so much facts. But he's a gay man saying that. Like, he's literally going against women and men and saying men and men should be together. Like, what the fuck?
At the end of the day, we're all men, and I don't believe there's any wrong way to be a man. We're just redefining what it means to be a man.
But there are things that naturally come to men. So when you say we're just redefining what being a man is, you have to understand you're redefining a fabric in society that has kept the human race and got it to where it is today. So just like aimlessly throwing out, oh, well, we're just redefining what it is to be a man. That's not just like a light subject that we should be talking about.
But why do you think it has to stay the same?
I'm
Why
sorry?
do we need to have the same thing for hundreds and hundreds of years?
Do you not see the state
It's not the same
of,
thing. It's just,
just
it's
said.
keeping the same qualities.
But do you see the state of our world today? It's not perfect. It's been led by men like throughout all of history.
Okay, no, let's listen to this because I heard this in the intro.
The same thing. It's just,
said.
keeping the same qualities.
But do you see the state of our world today? It's not perfect. It's been led by men like throughout all of history, and look where it's gone.
So
What do you say to niggas like that? What do you say to trans men like that? Like, what do you say to that? It's like, despicable. Like, you're delusional. So you're telling me, okay, men, this is the point he's trying to make. Look at the world we're in right now, horrible world. It was led by men the whole time. And look at where we're at right now. Oh, it would have been way better if it was led by women, wouldn't it? Do you genuinely think it would have been better if it was led by women? Do you genuinely think that? And the way I say this makes me sound like I hate women, or I feel like women are like should not have a voice. Blah blah blah. No, I do not think that, bro. Like I know smart ass women. Like it's crazy, but like it's just a woman. If women led the world, we would be at a better place. It's just delusional. Like, you're delusional. You're actually retarded. It's sad. There's the reason why the richest person in the world is a man. Smartest person in the world, a man. Best athlete, a man. Like, best of anything is a man. Like, connect the dots, motherfucker. Like, this shit is sad. Like, no. Like, this shit is sad, but I haven't done this in a long time. This is crazy. I haven't done this in a long time, man. I still got it, chat.
we're talking about redesigning what it means to be a man. So what do you want to bring to traditional men?
I think it's embracing that you can be vulnerable. I think that a lot of men want to portray strength, but men are people, and I know that men have feelings.
Being a man and masculinity, those are two different things. And I believe that we can redefine whatever that means to anybody.
Yo, what's good? It came money on top.
Other types of men or other types of masculinity. I myself am a father. I have a child. Some people would disagree with me being a father because I am transgender. But that being said, I present to the world as a male. My child sees me as a man.
There's proper ways to be vulnerable, right? You don't have to break down in front of your family and cry. It's okay to suffer silence as well. Strong men, I believe, exude the qualities that you guys are referring to. I think the problem is overcorrection, right? Some people
Look, okay. Like, and there's this other point that a lot of people on TikTok and stuff like that have. Like, vulnerable man, it's okay to cry and shit like that. Look, I just think a man, right? A man, if his girl, okay, let's say somebody passed away, right? Let's say somebody in the family passed away and he has a woman, right? I feel like the man is the person that, even though he's just as sad as the woman, he sucks it up and tells the woman that's crying it's okay. I feel like that's what being a man is, because he's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, a man is like, you're strong, and that's nothing bad. Like, how is that bad? And it's crazy. Like, when this goes on TikTok, I know somebody's gonna find a flaw in it and like say, oh, what's it called? A man could cry too. What the fuck? Why? So you're saying, what's it called? The woman is weak for crying, blah blah blah. No, like, women are more emotional, right? A person in the family died. You have a wife. She starts crying. If you start crying, you're not helping, right? But as a man, what you should do is you suck it up, right? So even though you're just as sad as her, even though you want to cry, you'll suck it up and you'll tell your wife it's okay. Everything will be fine. That is the definition of being a man. You are a man. You understand what I'm saying? And like TikTok has made that so bad to a point when I said that, I kind of felt like I was wrong. I'm not wrong. You know, I'm never wrong. Fuck.
People believe that men need to cry and lay on the ground and be feminine like women. My name is Brandon. I'm 34 years old, and I'm a conservative man. I had a lot of curiosities about what it's like to be a person who believes that they're a trans man. You know, I feel like God has created all of us very uniquely, and although I have beliefs and I follow the Bible to the T.
I feel like that is why it's like as a man you should suck it up. Like, I'm not saying you should feel bad for crying, but like, you at least need to hide that, bro. Like, you need to be strong. You can't look weak. You are a man. You understand what I'm saying? Ain't no way like niggas going on cameras and crying in front of millions of people. Like, famous ass niggas is going on cameras and crying, bro. See, that's out of pocket. Like, crying in private, I understand, but like, everybody has their like moments. Like, you can cry and shit like that, bro. You got this, nigga. Get up, you keep going. But going on camera like sobbing and shit, you look stupid. You look like a bitch. Like, you understand what I'm saying?
I still want to know from other people what their experiences are. Doesn't mean I have to agree, but I really want to know what other people are feeling from the person who's experiencing it real time.
I have male privilege.
Is there male privilege? 100 billion% there's male privilege. Like, that's something nobody can ever deny. I mean, is the privilege earned? I believe, but like, you know, there could be multiple occasions where, you know what I'm saying, like, if a man and a woman did the same work, the man has an advantage. A man and a woman, computer scientists, right? If they both had the same exact education, the man is more likely to get that job, so he's privileged. But the reason why he's privileged is because there's so many men out there. There's more men in the work field than women, right? Is that right? I don't think so. I don't think it's right. But there's also women privilege. Like, it goes both ways.
Oh, so.
I've lived both
Many
lives.
gay
and I
ass
can tell you
niggas, man.
firsthand that it does exist. I am taken much more seriously in my career since I've transitioned as a man. Prior to transitioning, I would work just as hard, if not harder, for the same position and not be considered. The minute that I transition, I am immediately taken more seriously. I can give you an example. Obviously with COVID, there's like the mask mandate, right? So I have to tell customers all the time, you need to do up your nose, right? Do that all day. My manager who's above me, who is a woman, will have to go to them, tell them they give her a fight. But the minute I just look in their direction, it's up. It doesn't seem like a privilege, but it is, because now my manager has to work 3 times harder for something that's so simple.
I think the word privilege is the thing that turns a lot of people off with this conversation. But that being said, again, myself living my life as a female, pretty much half my life, and then now half my life as a man, there is no way I could not be honest about the fact that my life has changed drastically. Also being a white man, that's also a conversation a lot of people don't want to have. But I have privilege of being white and privilege also of being a man now. I can walk into any room and command that room.
Courage, thank you so much, gang.
People just do that with men.
How long did it take me to grow my hair?
Biological men are born into that
2 years, and I cut
so
it.
they'll never ever see it.
Like,
Why do
a year
we
after I
now,
cut it,
as
like, halfway?
women who have become men,
So
get to
technically,
have
like,
this
a year.
thing? It's 100% because we are men. We look like men. Nobody would ever know. No one would ever know that we used to be women. So it's actually a real lived experience.
Look, except that this nigga right here, this girl nigga
So,
right here. I don't know.
I agree with a lot of what you all are saying as far as like transitioning. But as a black man, privilege looks way different for me, because if I'm walking down the street, then I'm seen as a threat by police, by women, by anybody else. Being seen as a man is where my privilege stops and where everything else begins. So I don't see it as privilege.
Okay, I got a lot to say about this topic here. First of all, I mean, we have to be transparent and honest with each other. You know, I think that not everybody on this side presents 100% like a man. Like if I saw you in the streets, I wouldn't think you were a man. You know, men have it really hard in this world, and they've always had it hard in this world. The wars have been fought by men. They've died in the hundreds of thousands. Men commit suicide more. Men work more the dangerous jobs. You know, if somebody broke in this place right now, who are they gonna expect to defend everybody in here? It's gonna be the men. If your family fails, they're not looking at your wife. They're not, they're looking at the man. You know, I just want people to understand that there's some advantages that men have, and then also men do struggle in custody and all kinds of different things in society.
I 100% agree with you as a man now, right? But what I think my perception of it is different than yours, because you were born male, you were raised male, you have a whole other space in that, and I totally respect your opinion on that, and I believe that that is a true lived experience as a born man.
Yeah, and let me add with the black man, because we have a total different reality in that. I don't, in no way, form, or fashion do I go into a room and I feel like I'm less than. I think I command presence when I go into a room because of the way I'm dressed.
Yeah, women privilege is endless. Like I could list women privilege. Like it's like if any altercation happened before with a woman and a man, the woman is most likely to win that. Like 100%. It's most likely that everybody's gonna get on the woman's side, and that's women privilege at its best. Like, if that's not a privilege, I don't know what is. A man and a woman get in an altercation, right? the woman is, everybody's taking the woman's side 90% of the time. If it's not obviously, if it's not obvious that it's the woman's fault.
And I'm tall. I go in the streets. I've never had a person cross the street. I've never been attacked by a police officer. I was a police officer. You know, I've been pulled over.
Start watching
probably 3
ARW
times in
recommendation,
my
yes,
entire
sir.
life.
I mean, my biggest question with this and why I don't necessarily agree with it is because when it comes to privilege, there's not really a way to quantify it. It's very subjective. So like your version of male privilege and your version of male privilege are very different.
So it's hard to see the other side because you've never lived it.
Yep.
The difference between you and us is we see it because we've lived it. You have not. So it's easy to speak and be like, well, it doesn't exist. Well, how would you know?
Well, I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I think everybody has certain privileges, but what I think the question here is what defines male privilege over women? Because women have privileges too. So is there a graph that you guys are calculating to make men have more than women or what?
The privilege is not acknowledging what you have that comes so easy.
So do you think that your fear, because you live both sides,
Right.
do you think your fear is something that you have in your mind, or you think it's a
No.
reality? Because
No.
no, let me say this: you never really changed as a person. You're the same person
Right,
that you were.
exactly.
So you have the same physical capabilities that you did
No.
when you were a woman.
No.
You
my,
don't.
No, my strength is entirely different after
Well,
taking
what
hormones.
percentage would you say?
More than 100%.
Okay,
I weighed
so, but
like
you're still
100 pounds,
but you,
now I weigh
still
like
you're still
133.
not probably as strong as me.
He said, he said, I used to be 100 pounds, now I'm 133. Motherfucker. This nigga gained 30 pounds and he talking about I'm 100% more stronger type shit.
Me.
But it's not about strength. It's that
Or-
women are targeted. Men are not targeted. I mean, maybe sometimes. I'm not saying it's never going to happen.
They're targeted by other men. Most of the homicides
But women
occur
are
in this
targeted by,
country are
by other
homicides
men. I think women have less of a safe space.
I
That's what I'm
disagree.
talking about.
Men don't have a safe space. If you go to certain
But I'm talking
cities,
about a
they
specific,
get murdered by
okay,
other
but I'm not
men
talking about certain cities.
more
I'm
so
talking
than
about
women.
everyday life.
Yeah, every day. I
Not
think
certain
that's a
cities.
blanket
Have you ever been?
statement.
Have you been attacked as a woman?
I have.
I have been pressurized by
I've been
women,
raped.
yes.
I've been attacked. I can go on and on and on.
Why are we like, and this is I'm so sorry it happened to you. I'm truly sorry it happened to you. I couldn't imagine that happening to my mother or my sister. I don't know what I would do, right? But why are you so excited to say this? And like this is what I like, and this has been a fucking problem on TikTok, right? The 99 percentile. Do you guys remember that? Oh, I'm a part of the 99 percentile. Why? Because a guy looked at me so sideways. Why are you so excited to say it? Like, I don't get it. Like, look at how he said it. You would think this is something you would be kind of like hesitant to share. Kind of like a traumatizing experience that you would be a little sad to share. I'm not saying it's bad to share. Why are you so excited to share that? What's going on? Look,
I have.
I have been pressurized by
I've been
women,
raped.
yes.
I've been attacked. I can go on and on and on.
why are you laughing? This is a serious subject. I'm not even laughing. I feel so bad for you. But why are you laughing? Yeah.
I was homeless, living in the streets, raped all the time. It happens. It's a real thing. I didn't see the guys on the street getting raped, but you
But
go.
men do get raped.
100%.
But we're not
But the
making
experience of it. of
Do you
course,
get
depends on
catcalled down the street? Like,
I
does
mean,
that happen?
women say things to me when I was
But
a
do you
police
feel
officer.
threatened?
Do you
You
feel
feel scared of
threatened?
them.
You feel empowered though, right?
No, I don't feel empowered. I feel that's
But do you feel
disgusting.
scared? Do you feel threatened when a woman
But I don't-
catcalls you?
No, I don't. And I
Okay,
don't feel.
then.
I don't.
No. Tat. Like, and it's like, bro, I hope I get on this Jubilee shit for the one time, bro. Just for the one time, bro, so I can humble motherfuckers. I can't. Oh my God, bro. I just wish I can get on this Jubilee shit, bro. You know why, bro? Like, it's like, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Men have a privilege in that, right? And I would bring up an example where he can't say anything and say women got an advantage.
I don't feel threatened if a man
Right.
try to challenge.
Because you have
me.
that male privilege.
Right. As a
What
woman,
if,
it's different.
what if a man was whistling at you when you were walking down the street?
I've had it happen to me. I had gay men whistle to me,
Then how
but
does that make you feel?
I don't care.
Okay, cool.
I mean, as long as you don't touch me, we cool.
Right.
I know you may think I'm attractive.
Right, and
That's
I
fine.
think-
That's cool. I get it.
think women will say the same thing as long as you're not like trying to be predatory. And I've seen it because I go to clubs with my friends who are girls, and I have to tell the men to literally leave them alone because they keep going. And they're predatory, and they're literally scouting out for women that are drunk or whatever, not even drunk. She could say no 1,000 times, and they're still gonna bother her. But the minute that I say something, they stop.
Women are not as strong as men and they get targeted. Sure.
No.
but yes, that is-
And this is the problem with the conservative man side. Like, why they keep on talking about this subject? You're right. Men have an advantage in this because we're stronger. Huh? What do you mean? A girl can't force me to do anything. I'll slap her. You stupid. Like, it's just like, that's something we can't deny. A girl can't force me to do shit. Why? Because I'll beat her ass. If I felt this threatened, I'ma smack her. And she probably will be on the ground. But if the scenario should flipped, a girl cannot beat my ass. That's why, what's it called? Like, guys force women because they literally are stronger than women, right? And it's like, yes, you're right, bro. Men have privilege in this. You're right, bro. There's no point in arguing that. But you bring up a point where women have complete privilege just for being women.
A privilege that men have over women, but that doesn't mean that men have privilege because of that one situation. Men commit suicide way more than women do.
Because if we're going to go that route, trans men commit suicide twice the rate.
But that's not.
I think what's important here is to distinguish the fact that, yes, no one is negating the fact that women can get preyed on. No one's going to deny that. But we're also just trying to say that it's not like a one-sided coin here, where there's no like men are just, we just have it good and we can do whatever we want.
I do not believe
we can't
that's true.
We can't even be the next Supreme Court justice because it's like.
But again, I live as a man, so I see the difference now.
Yeah.
When I said I have privilege and I walk into a room, of course, but then there's other things that are expected of me now as a man that I would never knew were expected.
So
of
would
me.
you guys agree that there's such thing as female privilege?
Oh, sure, 100%.
My wife has privilege because she has me.
That's right.
So she don't have to worry about her
Right
safety
on.
because I'm there.
I don't believe that as a man, it's like, there's marketing for women-owned brands. Like I said, I can't be the next Supreme Court justice. Like, women are very much more empowered today, which I think is, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, like, good for you. But I think that the man I probably have privilege because I'm, 6 foot 210. Like, no one's picking on me when I walk down the street. I used to live in Chicago and I used to walk home all the time at night, but like, was that smart? Probably not, but I felt a little safe because, I'm not 5 foot 100 pounds. I'm Max, I'm 29, and I'm a conservative man. In today's society, women and men can be whatever they want and be as successful or as strong or as big of a leader as they choose. So I'm just wondering, in a society that is so seemingly more level than ever before, why are we transitioning to different genders to define?
I'm just so shocked, Anti.
Biology determines gender.
Yes, it does, bro. Like, please, bro. Please don't say gender, sex is different. This is different. This is different. Stop! Please! I'm begging you. Like, please, bro. Like, come, like, watch, bro. The sex and gender is different. Oh, gender, maybe your biology could be determined by biology, but gender is something you identify as, blah, blah, blah.
So,
he
sex
said
and
that?
gender, people try to argue that they're different, but sex and gender actually go hand to hand. And our biology, being a man, comes down to every fiber within our body. So whether that be DNA, chromosomes, testosterone levels, bone density, there's a whole bunch of different factors that go into it, and it all has to do with biology.
So biology, I 100% believe in biology. Today we talk about biology being a social construct. I disagree with that as a transgender person. I was born biologically female. I always acknowledge that, and today I live as a male. Now that being said, sex and gender, they are trying to separate those things. Gender can be, I've chosen my gender. As you see, nobody would, I think, probably understand that I used to be a female. Now, many people do, like you just said, believe that sex and gender are one thing and you can never change those. I'm not trying to change anything. I'm trying to show the world that this is how I feel by presenting the outside. But I think denying biology is where we get into a lot of problems.
If you want to be, seen as a man, then like,
right on.
Who are you to? I don't care. I mean, you do you, whatever makes you happy. But I think like it becomes a slippery slope. It's like, how are we going to deny basic human facts? Like, there's two genders.
I think that causes problems, and it causes problems for me.
Yeah.
Because the minute I start denying your biology, now you feel attacked by me. Right. And I don't want you to feel attacked by me. I never want you to feel...
Cause you a bitch, nigga. You ain't really a man, nigga. I'll beat your ass, nigga.
want to be a part of, if that makes sense. You don't have to agree with my choice of how I live my life, but all I ask for is respect.
What do you have on your driver license and your birth certificate?
Right,
Did you
great,
change it to
great.
male or did you change it to?
So that being said, I transitioned to live as a man 29 years ago. So that was way before you see any of this stuff. And I had to acknowledge my biology, right? That being said, my license, I travel the world. It has to say male. Can you imagine if I showed up at the airport, they're like, female? Dude, there's something going on here. But I actually got my birth certificate changed to male. I was the first person to do that here in Los Angeles. But that being said, I kind of think that it might have been a mistake to do that now, looking forward today, because I never thought we would be having this conversation.
I'm glad you said that because I love that people can express themselves. It doesn't matter what I believe, what my religion is. I love that people can live their best life. I'll never, ever in my life protest or try to go against a person who wants to identify. The problem is when you begin to try to change language and you begin to try to change reality, and then therefore it changes on the children, and all of that becomes problematic. If a person says, okay, I acknowledge I'm born as a man or a woman, but I want to identify as this, cool, I respect that. And even if I didn't want to see it that way, and some people may be a little more ambiguous, I wouldn't never disrespect you. I'll call you by your name.
That's right.
Whatever name that you want to be associated with, I'll do that. And I think if everybody in the country can get on that same page, I think we'll see less division.
I've noticed in a lot of the trans individuals that I've met, the older generation who had it a lot harder in society to be accepted is a lot more willing to have the conversation.
We didn't have social media. I didn't have cell phones. I didn't have computers when I transitioned. This is how you build bridges. I'm Buck, I'm 59 years old, and I'm a trans man. Because I'm an elder trans man now, and there's a much newer generation, there's a definite space where I have a different way of being than
Buck
the
used to be
younger
a female,
generation,
that's crazy.
and why I tend to call myself a transsexual man. And I believe in biology, I believe in binary, so it really does not necessarily align with a new thought process that is happening
You know
with
what?
the newer generation.
Chat, you know what I think? Chat, you know what I think the solution is to this whole problem? I think I'm a man and he's a trans man. I think that's the best way to look at it. I don't think he's a man. I think he's a trans man. Because that's what he is. He's a trans man. So he should be called a trans man. I should be called a man. So there should be, like, on his birth certificate, it should say trans man. And he could get called he, him, because he looks like a man, right? But he's a man. No, I'm a man and he's a trans man.
So I love this question. With trans folks, biology does change. Our bone density does change. Our muscle structure does change. Our testosterone levels do change. So biologically, we do change. Anatomically, now that's where surgeries come into play. So when we're talking about biology and gender that can't be changed, our biology absolutely and concretely changes.
Not the DNA.
But our
DNA does not change.
Yeah, DNA is not going to change for anyone.
So you acknowledge there's a biological difference between males and females, because some people on the other side would say there's no difference. Like a female, like I could look like a girl, not having testosterone, but I'm still a male.
Some people are male, some people are female, chromosomally. But when we start to take testosterone, our bodies do biologically change.
But what about trans men who don't take testosterone?
Then their bodies don't biologically change.
That means then they're biologically still female, right?
Well, and gender in itself is something we get to choose. Okay,
That's right.
just like you said.
Well, in your
right?
life, you get to choose.
That's
You don't
right.
get to choose it for the world, but you get to choose it for
I
your
get to
life.
choose my gender because I've been on testosterone for 10 years. Okay, going on 11 years.
But there's some anatomy that will never change.
That's right.
Right? I mean, you still have ovaries. You still have,
Yes.
the female reproductive system. You said that you had a child.
Yes, I've given birth. I no longer have female reproductive organs.
Right, but you had that. You will never get male productive organs.
Now, when you think about it, the male and female productive organs are similar, and they're nearly the same. They're different.
Right.
They're different in size.
Even if
Biologically,
And they're different in
in-
functionality too.
Not necessarily.
Chat, he still got that girl hand though. Look.
They're
I don't know if they worked on the hand. He got the girl hand, the girly hands, bro. Look, he got his nails. I think they didn't work on the hands.
different
Chat.
in size.
even if
Look, I'm telling you, that looks like girl hands. I'm telling you.
Okay, biologically.
And they're different in
in-
functionality too.
Not necessarily,
Well,
because the testes and the ovaries are very much similar. One is an egg, one is a fertilizer,
But
and
we
that's
can
the
never,
difference.
but I never can produce sperm.
You're absolutely
ever,
right.
Ever.
You're absolutely right.
And they can never produce ova.
And you guys are saying that gender is like a social construct. Is that what you're saying too, that you could change it? But also, if you want to be technical about it, age is a social construct, your ethnicity and race is a social construct, and I'm Hispanic. I can't say I'm Chinese because I like Chinese food. I could bleach my skin all I want. I could wear Chinese clothes.
No,
doesn't make me
race is
Chinese.
not.
It's a
How
social
is
construct.
ethnicity going to be a construct?
There's all social constructs.
So
We all
how-
agree
how-
on it.
how
if you look
exactly-
Up, if you look up, is race a social construct? Ethnicity a social construct? Is time a social construct? Right. Everything's a social construct if you want to think about it that way.
That
But
is
we have
facts.
set truths, and we can't change those truths. If you want to say you're trans man, that means you're a biological female that thinks that
No,
you're a male.
I am a biological male. I'm an anatomically.
See, he's gonna have different
I'm
version
still
of it than- and
right.
I think it's really important that you
right,
understand we're all gonna
and
have
it's
different views.
anatomic, okay?
Yeah.
Because biologically, I have shifted, okay? Trans meaning going from one to the next.
Biologically and all these things,
What the fuck? Like, do you see this, bro? Like, and they get so technical. Like, okay, age, I can identify as a 21-year-old and drink. Like, it's sad.
I know that there's importance for you guys, but meeting me or seeing me, you would never know. So why is it important?
Well, no,
Like,
because
you know, like,
just
'cause I'm just
say if I
curious.
was a woman, just say if I was a woman and I wanted to date you, what are you gonna tell me?
I would tell you that I'm trans. What do you
No,
mean?
no, I'm saying you can't tell me that you're a man.
I mean, I'm still a man.
No, but
I'm
you
a
gotta tell
transgender
me.
man.
You gotta tell me that you were born a woman. You have
I
to.
mean, I don't have to.
Well, because if I go down, if I see
Right.
you in your pants,
Right.
I'm gonna see something different, and that
Come
would be
to Philly, I
troubling
got
to
you.
me
Right,
if
but-
I had an
But
expectation.
again, this is like
You finna beat my ass or something, nigga? You finna catch me slipping or something? I know how you Philly niggas get.
getting off the topic, but I mean, to answer your question, if you must know, I do tell the person that I'm talking to or interested that I'm transgender. I don't think that you need it to, you don't need a penis to be a man. And I know that you may disagree, which is fine, like I get it, but I don't want one.
Now, I have a question for all of you. Do your penises make you men?
Yes, biologically.
Like,
What the fuck? What the fuck? Nigga, what? Yes! Bro! Bro. Yes, my dick makes me a man. Because if you really think about it, when you search up the definition of a man, like, men are human beings that produce sperm for the most part. Like, and it's like, yeah, your dick, like, the balls is part of your dick. You got the sperm right there. You can produce a light with that motherfucker, boy. No other creatures than men got that.
Part of what
that
makes
is,
me a man,
is
yes.
that what makes
Well, I
you a man?
said being a man's ingrained within every part of your body. So our cells, our
Right,
yes, our
but,
penis too.
but if
someone
you
goes
had
to war,
to if you had to look at the difference between us and between you, now would that difference be the lack of a penis?
If we were naked,
No, it would be the lack. It would be the lack of producing sperm to create a life.
Okay.
I mean,
so
it
if
would
we're
be-
gonna minimize being a man to
don't
that particular anatomy,
we
I've
didn't-
got.
we-
If we minimize it, because this is where we're going, is anatomy, right? Because that's where we've gotten.
Our basic
Okay.
biology, yeah.
So if we get there, so do your penises make you more men than us?
It's part of
it's
what
not
does.
making more or less. It's we're a biologically man. You're not a biological man.
It's not a spectrum,
It's
so
from-
it's not a question that we can answer because you're saying on the spectrum, would this make us more of a man
What
than
are
you?
your
But
tips
no,
on how
it's
to get
because we
rid?
are a man and
Eat food you
guys
enjoy,
aren't.
and always have
So,
snacks
so
around.
we're not men.
Always.
Is what you
get
is
bored,
exactly
eat.
what you just said.
In my view, you guys
Why is nobody talk about the ability to produce sperm to create a life, nigga?
are appropriating the gender and you are living as a man, but biologically you are not a man. So to me, it's not. You can't say, okay, well, does that make us more of a man? That's not even a question to ask because you're not a biological man. When it comes down to asking questions that make me start to change what the truth is and what the truth isn't, putting it on a spectrum when it's an objective truth, that's where I draw the line.
What's the biggest problem with what he said? It doesn't make you. It doesn't make what you feel any different. The biological truth is the truth, and why can't that be the truth? And you also say, but I feel like on the inside that I'm a man and I'm going to present that way.
The argument is that people try to invalidate who we are with that. I'm not saying that you guys are doing that, but a lot of society in the world does that. Well, biologically, you're female. What hurts trans people that people don't realize what they're doing is it's very harmful. You got to be aware of what you're saying and what you're putting out there. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, no, 100%. I would, and that's why I think we all agree. We would never try to offend you or anything like that. To be honest, if I saw any one of you in the streets, I don't care. It's not gonna bother me that you wanna,
Right.
I would know unless I pulled your pants down or something. Why
Hey.
do you feel like you have to present the way you do? You know, facial hair. Could you
right.
be a man without having facial hair?
I mean, yeah.
Because you feel like you're a man.
I'm in the early stages of testosterone. I haven't hit 1 year yet. But personally for me, you know, I crave, you know, having a full-on beard like these fine gentlemen and you guys are. Like, I crave it, you know, like.
Yeah, I want to have a beard, dude. Yeah. But it's crazy how she's a woman. He's a woman. She got up one day. I want to be a man. I crave beard. I crave chest. I crave muscle.
But I do believe like not having like this little small peach fuzz I have going on, it does make me feel more dysphoric. It makes me like feel like, oh, this is how I presented before transitioning.
Do you feel like it's something that has gone wrong at birth? Like, you know, you're born and you say, well, genetics and evolution says
Right.
this. Why do I feel like this,
Yeah,
yet
I mean,
have
I
this?
think questioning it was something that I always wondered, because sometimes when people say like, oh, like it was a choice, which I hear a lot on the other side all the time, like it was a choice. I was legit born this way. Like I could remember from, I think 4 or 5 years old, where like I didn't feel like a girl, you know what I mean? And I can't tell you why that happened. It was just my path in this life. And it's something that I honored. And, you know, it was really hard for me to continue living, especially when puberty hit. You know, like time of month comes in, obviously anatomy changes, like, and that was the biggest thing for me, where I knew that I
How long this
can't
video
do
game?
this.
It's
It's
almost
like you're
over.
not in your own home.
Children
Damn near like 10 minutes
should be
left.
allowed to transition.
Children should not. Oh my God! Wait. Let's answer this
Where I
question.
knew that, like, okay, I can't do this. It's like you're not in your own home.
Children should be allowed to transition.
Okay, look. Children should be allowed to transition into a woman. Okay, tap. Prime example, Dwayne Wade's son literally transitioned into a woman at the age of 10. Kids are not allowed to do a lot of things in life, because it's believed that they're not mature enough to make those decisions, right? I think that's a fair fact everybody can accept. Children are like, you know what I'm saying, like, are not allowed to decide their own paths until they're 18, because it's believed that they mature at 18. They're not mature right now. They're not mature enough to make their own decision. And you're telling me children should be allowed to make a decision that they can't reverse? Are you serious? Bro, I don't even know, like, I don't even know what to say about that. Like, kids can't drink, but they can change their whole gender. It's disgusting, bro. Like, the fact that children are even allowed to change their gender is sad. Like, chat, we all had that moment. Chat, I'm not gonna lie. You're weird as fuck if you call me sus. Like, I used to be a kid, and I used to make fun of my sister. I used to put on her wig and then make fun of my sister. Haha, blah, blah, blah. What does my mom tell me? Put that wig down, nigga. Don't ever do that shit again. You're a guy. She's supposed to be a girl. Don't do that shit again. I'm playing around. But Dwayne Wade's son put on a wig, started acting like a girl. Oh my God, son. Do you feel like a girl more than you're a man? He doesn't even know the difference yet. He doesn't even know how it's like to have sex. Bro, if he tried pussy, he would have loved it. Why did you at least give the man a chance? Give the kid a chance to try out some pussy. It's sad. What the fuck? Dwayne Wade, are you serious? You're really gonna take his dick away at 10 years old, bruh? Let him get in some pussy. I swear he'll change his mind. I swear to God he'll change his mind. Trust me. And you gonna take his ability to ever do that shit, to ever feel that feeling. You gonna take that away at 10 years old, bruh? He's never even tried out pussy, bruh. Come on, bruh. And this is disgusting. This is so disgusting. So disgusting, bro. Like, it's crazy. I can't stand this shit. Dwayne Wade, you know you wrong. You know you wrong. There's a spot in hell waiting for your ass. Insane.
I was gonna say, I find it very interesting that you and I are the only ones that stepped up, especially since we're younger. And
You should allow children to feel what they feel, because
Look,
I felt the way that I felt for as long as I can remember, and it's something that I cannot deny.
Yeah.
You know, although my mother is supportive, when I was younger, I wasn't allowed to wear boys' clothes because that wasn't right. Now I know we're talking about transitioning. It doesn't always have to be hormones. It's like transitioning in society. So
I
being
think
able to
I'm
dress more
gonna
masculine.
just add
I did when I
hammy
was
for a
younger, but as
while,
I got into
and then
middle
leave it like
school,
that for a while.
kids change, people are mean, so you
Yeah.
know, I dressed how I would in society, so I dressed like a girl, whatever, but I think that children should be allowed to express themselves in whatever way makes them feel comfortable.
kids are struggling to be who they are, and there's more rates of suicide for trans individuals because there's literally being laws put in place to prevent them from being who they are, and that's not right. That's not right.
Wait. He said trans people's suicide rate is high. Then why do kids? Why you allowing kids to be trans then? What?
Okay, so I work with children. This is where I have like the biggest problem with the trans stuff is with the children, because people, like I'm sure you guys would agree, you want to inject them with the hormones to stop their puberty, their normal puberty. They haven't even developed their prefrontal cortex yet, and you want to stop their natural puberty from occurring to affirm their gender, and then later on they regret it. I think that's not a good thing.
See, that's why this is a loaded question, because transition can mean many things for children. Now, I totally, as a transsexual person, disagree with giving children hormone blockers, medication, surgery, but what I do agree with is socially transitioning, which means why, because I did that, okay, and I did that in the 60s and 70s. My parents dressed me like Buck, I was a boy, you know, I didn't have any problems because I just lived, we used to call it a tomboy, right? So that was totally, and I went through puberty and I did all the things. I do not believe children can make those choices, and I do not believe it's okay and ethical for a parent to make those choices for a child. But I do believe gender dysphoria exists in children. I had it, 100% it's there. But to give medication to a child is so unethical to me that you would actually, you're exactly what you said, you're stunting brain growth, you're stunting all of these things. They don't have enough research on it. So I'm in agreement with transitioning medically for children is not okay for me, but I do
Because
believe
I am
it's a
too
social
clever, Tiger,
space.
don't you
When you
agree?
say a social transition, it's interesting to me because we
Z knows, yeah.
That's right. That's right.
So to me, and we talk about suicide rates among young trans people, this whole ideology is telling people to derive their value off of what somebody else is saying about them
That's
or what
right.
somebody else affirms to them. So we say that, you know, society is the problem and we're not allowing people to be who they are, and that's why they're committing suicide. But maybe it has to do with the messaging that we're sending to these kids, that you derive your value from if somebody uses your correct pronoun, or you derive your value if this person accepts you for wearing a dress. Be who you are, but tell them to be empowered about it and not get that empowerment from somebody else.
I feel like that's really kind of inconsiderate to say that someone would take their life because what someone else says. To somebody, that is important. To somebody, I know have friends who their family does not use their correct pronouns and they've transitioned and they live in the same household. This person struggles with depression and anxiety. Could you imagine living in an environment like that where you're no longer validated? That's coming from your own parents.
But if you base your validation off of other people, this is a hard truth, but if your sole validation
No, you definitely
as
have
an
to do it.
individual
Listen,
is based off
I
of
could
other
give
people.
Damn,
I
some
know what things
real,
about me. I do what I want. But for
y'all some real niggas in the chat. God damn, this 5 days, 3 days, 2 days, 7 days. 7 days is the highest by anti. My nigga said some coding shit.
everyone, that's not the case because everybody has different personalities.
Right, but that doesn't make it any. That doesn't mean that.
But it's
we
still.
should
But
be
what you're not
telling people to get
acknowledging. Listen, what you're
validation
not
from
acknowledging though
others.
is that in that environment, it is not supported.
I'm acknowledging that. I'm
Okay.
just saying that we're saying that for some reason they should look for that validation from somebody
When
else
you
rather
love
than find it
somebody and you have a
within.
family, you want them to
But you're
validate you.
focusing not on the individual. You're focusing on the people outside of that
Yeah, but the
individual.
individual.
I'm focusing on empowering that individual.
But part of being a
You're-
person is needing to be validated. You don't need to be validated ever in your life from your
No.
family or your friends.
I get my
Never.
validation from within, and then the
Right,
There's
but
no
we're,
way.
if we're talking about children, okay, if we're
A
talking,
child.
okay, I was an 8-year-old when I found out that I wasn't biologically male, right? I was 8 when I found out that I wasn't the
Let's hear him out. He's saying he was 8 when he felt like he wanted to be a man. The little 8-year-old girl says, at 8, I want to be a man. Let's hear this.
Same as my brothers, okay? And so going...
He wants to be the same as brothers.
I was 8 when I found out that I wasn't the same as my brothers, okay? And so going through that process, I attempted suicide 4 times because my mother was like, well, you are a girl. When you're 8 and you're 12 and you don't have anyone else that is in your space, when you don't have anyone else that lives in the same house as you to tell you you're okay, where are you supposed to go? How are you supposed to garner your own self-validation if the people that are raising you don't validate who you are?
As a father...
And I feel like that's just bad parenting, right? If my 8-year-old daughter, yeah, that is low-key true. That's true. I'm saying, like I said, that's bad parenting. If my 8-year-old daughter came up to me, Dad, I want to be a man. See, I'll sit her down and I'll explain. This is just how I explain to you guys, right? I'll explain perfectly. See that? Tell her that. Wait, you guys literally speak about accept me for who I am. You should accept yourself and shit like that. And literally don't accept that you're a woman and transition to a man. Nigga, pick a side. You sound stupid right now. I'll tell my daughter this. You're so perfect just the way you are. You have been blessed to be a woman in the world, right? You should empower that. You should hold that up with pride. So many good qualities about a woman. I can be the first guy to tell you. So many good things about a woman. So many good qualities about women. Truly. Right? And it's like, I feel like she should really take that in and be proud that she's a woman. Instead of, I would ask her, what made you feel like you need to be a man? Deadass. What made you feel like you need to be a man? So many great things about a woman. What made you feel like you're not, it's not good enough to be a woman, that you need to transition to a man? And I'll explain to her slowly of why she shouldn't even have that thought in her mind. Why she should truly feel empowered to be a woman. Do you know what I'm saying? I'll explain that in a really good way. And that's just good parenting. And I feel like a lot of these trans people had bad parents. Horrible parents. You want me to be honest, it's their parents' fault. If at 8 years old, you felt like you needed to be a man, hey, where your parents at? Dead homies. Where your parents at?
You know, my duty is to raise my children the way I believe is right. And if my child somehow struggles with this, which is fine, we'll have that conversation. But I'm going to let it play out the way I believe it should be played out. And at 18 years old, you can do whatever you want to do.
No. Like, literally, like, you should ask a trans man, okay, you were born a woman, right? You say you want to be accepted as a man, but you didn't even accept yourself as a woman. By the way, don't forget that, okay? What made you feel like you needed to be a man? Oh, I just felt like I just wanted to go outside and play soccer like the boys. I just wanted to, what's it called? Do physical things. What's wrong with, like, playing with Barbie and shit? Just like little girls. What's wrong with that? I don't get it!
If you don't want to wear dresses, that's fine. I mean, just wearing if you want to dress like a boy, don't make you want to be a boy. Don't mean you have to be a boy. My mom was a tomboy, and my mom had me and my brother, and she's a woman, and she lives like that. But, you may want to dress a little different. Maybe a boy want to do cheerleading or something like that.
Right.
But that don't mean you need to transition to something else. So I want that to play out until my child is old enough to make that decision on their own. Also, you have to teach your children to have balance. Because if you just want mommy and daddy to acquiesce to everything you want, that's not reality. You have to understand that mom and dad may not see me this way. They love me. I see myself this way, and I disagree with how they speak to me or but I love them as well. I love, like my son, if he said that he was, and I'm a Christian and I don't believe in homosexuality, I don't. I respect anybody that feel that way. I never, protest you at all. If my son came to me, it would be a struggle for me to want to go to his wedding. I'm just going to be honest. But I think that my son should understand this is the way my dad feel. I love him. This is the way I feel. and we have mutual love. And that don't mean I hate you, that just mean we disagree. And I wish that same sentiment would be, and I think it's the same on this panel. Like, there's no hate in any of this. Right. I love every single person on this side, and we may think of things differently, but we love each other. It can't be one-sided.
Like, it's just, chat, if my son was gay, bro, it's just like, I feel like my son would never be gay because, what the fuck? You don't come out the womb as a man and feel like a girl, bruh. Something influenced you to think that way. And it's my fault that I, like, you know, that I let that happen. It's just as simple as that. If my son became gay, it's my fault. Simple as that, bro.
I'm lucky, I'm 41, and I'm a trans man. One of my greatest fears as a trans man is my life being taken from me because I'm a trans man. Transitioning in a black neighborhood with gang members as neighbors, they weren't having that. So the more that my body started to look a lot like theirs, I was challenged on a regular
Big 100 biddies for my nigga OD be going OD with the biddies.
basis.
W's.
Beaten up because someone recognized me from prior to my transition and approached me and confronted me and called me a liar and told me I was a bitch. And I, out of safety, was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And they cold cocked me and I lost a front tooth.
Oh.
Out of safety, was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And they cold cocked me and I lost a front tooth.
I grew up with a positive father figure.
Okay, let's see what the trans people say about their father.
Good.
Where would their father at?
I think for me it's surprising because I would believe that a woman or a person who's born as a woman who now identifies as a man didn't have a positive role model as a man, and therefore they felt somewhat insecure as a woman, which makes them, feel a certain way and want to be a certain different person. Maybe they want to be the man that their father never was, or whatever the case may be. And so it was very interesting. I mean, I'm being honest, it was interesting to see pretty much a majority of you guys come forward.
That's so great. I think that's really important that you say that, because I do think a lot of people probably feel that way about guys like me, right? That our fathers we didn't have the right upbringing or what. My father was amazing. I grew up really like a little boy. I always felt like a little boy. My parents actually raised me, and I'm 59 years old.
That's the problem. How is that a good thing? You came out the womb. You came out the womb as a girl, and he treated you like a boy. How is that not a problem?
Old. So that was in the 60s and the 70s when we didn't even talk about this kind of stuff. But my parents actually felt it from me. So I think that that's a misconception that people think about people like us.
Any good father pushes their child to, feel self-love and to feel like they can be who they want, do what they want, and, have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, right? Like our founding fathers. And it's fatherlessness or having a missing dad is a pandemic in its own, and it's one that obviously I'm sure Brandon can attest to. It's so critical to have a father in the house because kids get lost when they don't have one, and having a father that's loving and strong and someone you can rely on is the reason why we're all comfortable with who we are.
I had several different father figures in my life. So it wasn't, I had a dad, but then I had my grandfather and I had my uncle. It takes a village to raise a child, right? But all of those different perspectives raised me as a well-rounded human. If we take the masculinity out of it, just as a human, I got to see different perspectives. And so now as a father that has given birth to a child, and that child being a male, right, I'm able to raise him with those same ideals.
Wait. You gave birth to him.
Just as a human, I got to see different perspectives. And so now as a father that has given birth to a child, and that child being a male, right, I'm able to raise him with those same ideals that I'm able to identify because of the father figures that I had.
I didn't have my father growing up. He was not present in my life at all. So it showed me that some men can step up, like my grandfather and my stepfather, who have taken me in and showed me how to take care of myself, how to be, strong and dependable. And all I've been able to do is give more love to all people that I interact with.
Right.
So it was really important for me to have those figures.
I think this is a really important thing to show people that are watching this, because a lot of times I feel like we can blame any issues in society or anything that arises on the generation that came before us.
Right after this,
so
we'll
any
react to
issues that
music.
arise in our society, it's like
It's almost
there's
done.
not always a reason why it's happening. We just need
5
to address
minutes.
the issue and solve it.
I grew up with all women. My parents were divorced, and I lived with my mom. I had my aunts. So I was raised by women, but my dad was there sometimes, and then my stepdad took me in as his own. So I had my stepdad as a father figure.
I grew up with all women as well. My mom used to tell me I have to be your mom and your dad. So like there would be times where I got both. Like she was super sweet with me or really strict on me, and like she taught me a lot as well, like growing up.
Okay, I just want you to notice how he said my mom was like a mom and a dad. She was really sweet and she was really hard on me. The hard part is supposed to be the dad, the sweet part is supposed to be the woman. Do you see the gender roles I'm talking about coming from a trans man himself? Itself? Themself? I don't know.
Women, it taught me a lot of vulnerability.
No, when you were talking to, I was like, I relate to you very well. But yeah.
I'm Jacob, I'm 27 years old, and I'm a trans man. So the relation with my dad and how unsupportive he is has been a challenge for me, but it's something that I've learned to grow past. And I encourage everyone that even if you don't have a parent who is supportive, to still be authentically yourself, because your life is meant to be lived for you. And I think that choosing my happiness above all else has made my life that much better, and I wouldn't change anything. Even though he wasn't supportive, I still wouldn't have him here.
Listening to all your guys' points, I would definitely say, yeah, I did have a father figure. He was in the Marines, and he has this very like toxic masculinity mindset. A lot of anger built up that I can definitely tell he suppressed, you know, in the Marines, because that's what he was taught to do. That's what the Marines are about. He always carried that with him, and I think that's what he tried to instill in me and my siblings at a very young age, which made it hard for me to be vulnerable with myself. And I just saw a lot of anger issues that were, you know, very violent sometimes. And since coming out as trans, I feel like he's been more willing to understand me more and trying to figure out who I am as a person. And because of that, I feel like our relationship has definitely got a lot stronger since then.
I can't imagine how difficult it is to come home and then try to be vulnerable after suppressing so much pain and hurt for years. So it's good to hear that, you know, he's learning and kind of evolving and opening up. That's something where.
So he felt like he needed to be a man to get along with his father.
You know, you guys were talking about vulnerability, right? And it's like there's times when it's good to be hard.
It's cool, that's cool.
Can I take a picture with you after?
W video, chat. I got a lot of clips from that, shorty. I got a whole lot of clips from that.